What do you think of Diana? Well, I remember thinking that she was a very joyful, fun, and attractive 16-year-old girl, and by that, I mean truly lively, energetic, and full of life. I didn't know what either of them thought about me, but it was surprising that within 3 years, they would announce their engagement. Little did they know that marriage wasn't about the weight of wearing a crown but rather the burden of being next in line. Perhaps it was the shock of the sudden death of the core figure of our country, Charles's mother, which made this role feel even heavier. Charles knew that one day he would become king, following in his mother's footsteps, leaving behind his sister and despite their close childhood relationship. Unlike his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, Charles always knew that one day he would be king. Becoming the heir at the age of 3, Charles became the longest-serving heir apparent in the history of the UK, and the Prince of Wales title only added to his challenges. He was a highly studious child, quite different from Prince Philip, who had a much stronger character. He was also different from his mother, who was very serious from a young age, and I think Charles inherited some of that seriousness, but he had a real passion for learning, particularly a love for books, which was unusual for members of the royal family. Royals were expected to spend very little time with their children. They saw them for 15 minutes in the morning and half an hour in the evening. But you must judge this by the standards of the time. This was just how families operated back then. During the coronation in 1953, it was interesting because Charles was old enough to attend and fully aware of what was happening. I suspect for a child of his age, it would have been an overwhelming experience with all the noise and crowds of people, but perhaps also a clear reminder of the enormous responsibility that would one day be his. As the eldest of 4 siblings, it's fair to say that because Charles was the oldest and destined to be the Prince of Wales and, eventually, the king, there was always an expectation that one day he would assume the throne. Music. Charles was sent to a public school in Scotland, Gordonstoun, which had a reputation for being tough. The harsh attitude, combined with the isolation of the north of Scotland, made Charles rather reserved in expressing his emotions. He had to keep much to himself, and the rigorous environment was supposed to toughen him up. Far away from the press, it was expected that Charles would follow the typical royal path of attending either Oxford or Cambridge. While others, like his uncle Edward, attended these universities mainly to tick a box, Charles approached Cambridge with the genuine intention to study. He was the first member of the royal family to attend university with the aim of completing a 3-year course and earning a degree. It was a significant academic achievement for someone in his position. Meanwhile, the media often focused on the ups and downs of Charles's personal and romantic life, as he was the most eligible bachelor in the royal family. There was much speculation about whom Charles would marry, and he was viewed as one of the hardest-working members of the royal family, known for his no-nonsense attitude. Princess Anne. His sister, had no predetermined role, unlike her brother, and it took her decades to carve out her place in the family and define her work. While she became a vital part of the royal family, her story was not as widely covered by the media as others. Still, Anne was a prominent figure, and I think many who met her came away with the impression that she was not only extraordinary but also brutally honest, refusing to waste time on falsehoods or pretenses. There's a lot of decorum expected within the royal family, and Anne, particularly when it came to her personal life, didn't shy away from breaking. Growing up at Balmoral and Sandringham for summer and Christmas breaks, Anne developed a deep love for horses, a passion she would carry with her throughout her life. She enjoyed many simple moments playing with her older brother and exploring the countryside, and she had a secure and happy childhood. It's said that Anne had a very close bond with her father, Prince Philip, who greatly admired her strong-willed personality. 1435, she believed in the advantages of a boarding school education, and though some children might not enjoy it, she thought it suited her best. In June 1987, the Queen awarded her the title of Princess Royal, a title and embraced as a hard-working member of the royal family. Her sense of duty and dedication was exemplary, and she carried out her responsibilities without fanfare, often away from the limelight. In her youth, like her brother Charles, Anne was a highly sought-after young woman, though there was less pressure on her to marry since her children were unlikely to inherit the throne. Her shared love of sports with her first husband, Captain Mark Phillips, strengthened their relationship. However, by the late 1980s, their relationship had become strained, and the couple officially separated in 1989, divorcing in 1992. And later married Timothy Lawrence, and their shared love for equestrian sports and other interests have kept their marriage strong to this day. Charles, during his courtship with Diana, was still seeing Camilla Shand, and while his relationship with Diana wasn't immediately a grand love story, there was a clear interest between them even though they were both young. Diana was not oblivious to the responsibilities she would assume as the Princess of Wales, and in February 1981, they announced their engagement. The couple became global icons, with millions watching their wedding, but the struggles within their marriage, exacerbated by Charles's relationship with Camilla, would later become well known. Despite their struggles, Charles and Camilla's eventual marriage in 2005 was a civil ceremony rather than a religious one. By that time, many people felt that the country had finally come to accept their union. Had they been allowed to marry earlier, some believe the world might have been a better place for them. Over the years, Camilla became a great support to Charles, and the Queen recognized this, especially as Camilla helped Charles through some of his most challenging times. Now, as Prince of Wales, Charles had taken on more of the Queen's official duties, supporting countless charities and becoming a beloved figure in his own right. Camilla stood by him through it all, providing the stability and support he needed. Akin to the role Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, once played for King George VI. And now, Camilla is seen as someone who will remain at Charles's side as he continues his royal journey, an unwavering partner to the future King of England. This story beautifully captures the remarkable journey of Charles and the royal family, with all its trials, love, and triumphs, and leaves us wondering what the future holds for the monarchy. Stay tuned to our channel for more royal insights and news.